6:48 in our Smart Start. Our top stories for Monday. Some breaking updates right now. A large police presence unfolding in southwest Rochester.
Take a look. This is what we can see as the intersection of Genesee Street and Arnett Boulevard is blocked slightly here by some RPD cars making their presence known as they were in and out of some homes in that area. We did reach out to investigators trying to see what they were called to the area about, any reports of injuries. We're waiting to hear back, so stay with News 8 for updates.
Another scene breaking overnight. A woman injured in a two-car crash in the northeast quadrant of the city. That was at Norton Street and Village Way around 8 o'clock. In that footage, you can see what was left of the wrecked cars, all the damage. Our News 8 crew there at this time also saw an ambulance on scene with a woman on a stretcher. Once we hear more from RPD on these cases, we'll share that with you on air and online throughout the morning at rochesterfirst.com.
And Rochester police search for leads after a man walked into the hospital wounded from a stabbing. This happened around 9:15 last night, and investigators say they did discover the stabbing happened at the corner of J and Child Streets. That victim expected to survive, and the circumstances leading up to the incident are still under investigation. We're told no one is in custody.
New this morning, a man from Pennsylvania faces charges after police say he installed a secret camera in a Krispy Kreme bathroom, and the victims, a man and a boy from Macedon. The charges against 34-year-old Corey Clark include invasion of privacy and peeping. Those two customers, 44 and 9 years old, at the restaurant discovered the hidden camera in an air vent above one of the toilets in the men's restroom. They immediately informed staff, who contacted police right away. They say Clark, who's from Pennsylvania, earlier mistakenly said Macedon, then approached the restaurant workers and requested they return his camera, and that was declined. Clark was arrested shortly afterward outside the store. He's already been arraigned, and authorities do confirm Clark is in no way affiliated with the franchise, and he's not an employee there.
Happening today, trial picks up for one of the two suspects arrested after a stabbing that killed a Rochester father. 42-year-old Herbert Montgomery is accused of attacking 38-year-old Christopher Austin on North Street in July of 2024. Montgomery's partner, 42-year-old Sarah Lee McFadden, previously pled not guilty to charges of felony tampering with physical evidence and hindering prosecution. Investigators say Austin was going to the store, which is where he was confronted and stabbed by Montgomery. Austin died at the scene, and all the while his wife was in the hospital giving birth to their son. Montgomery is due in court at 9:30.
New this morning, hundreds are still missing at this hour after that earthquake in Southeast Asia.
Absolutely devastating there, as authorities do confirm in Thailand at least 1,700 people are now confirmed dead and dozens more injured and unaccounted for after the quake hit Friday. The worst devastation so far is near the epicenter in Myanmar's Mandalay region, where multiple bridges collapsed, buildings reduced to rubble. In fact, one man here in the States says his family is sleeping on the street after they found cracks in the walls of their homes.
Mandalay, the whole city is like, a lot of building collapse. They can't even eat and cook in their kitchen.
They're afraid to go into the house.
Yeah, so they don't have any food to eat.
The United States has pledged $2 million in humanitarian aid to Myanmar. That is in addition to the aid that's been coming in from China, India, and the United Kingdom.
A new round of tariffs is kicking in the coming days, including another 25% on imported vehicles and parts. A new poll out also shows majority of Americans are concerned that tariffs could raise prices. In more news from the White House, President Donald Trump over the weekend claimed there are methods for him to seek a third term, even though the Constitution prohibits presidents from serving more than 2 terms in the Oval Office. As for President Trump ratcheting up his trade war with few specifics on reciprocal tariffs, the new 25% tax on imported vehicles and parts, the UAW reps say the move could bring jobs back to America.
Tariffs aren't the total solution. Tariffs are a tool in the toolbox to get these companies to do the right thing.
New research from CBS News. A poll shows a lot of Americans are concerned that tariffs will raise costs. 64% say the president is not focused enough on lowering prices, while more than half, 55%, say he's too focused on those levies.
Local activists calling for better protections as ICE has begun detaining and deporting former Bhutanese refugees who have legally resettled here in the Rochester region.
A number of the people in this population came to the U.S. in 2008 from the landlocked country, which sits in South Asia near the eastern Himalayas. The head of the Rochester Refugee Resettlement Program calls this a crisis, what they're dealing with, and wants a stop to the detentions and deportations as these people are now at risk of being sent back to a place with a long history of violations.
They have history of violating human rights. You know, there are still people in jail who are being held without any due process. If our people are being accepted into Bhutan, they will be tortured, they will be jailed, and they won't be, treated well.
He adds if deported, they could end up in India or Nepal, which leaves them stateless and vulnerable.
Well, today is Transgender Day of Visibility, which is a day that celebrates the joy and resilience of trans and non-binary people everywhere. It also highlights the experiences from these communities. As we can see Sunday in Rochester, the trans community and their allies took to the streets saying they demand safety, recognition, and action from officials. Dozens of marchers came out to listen to local elected leaders and those activists who have given speeches addressing the needs of trans individuals.
It's so important that people see the trans community as our neighbors, as our brothers, as our sisters, folks that we want to protect, folks that we are passing concrete action to ensure that they're able to thrive within our community and feel like they belong.
And in this current political climate, due to the Trump administration and many, many other factors, a lot of trans people are under fire and dealing with a lot of violence right now.
Other demands do include the passage of the Gender Identity, Respect and Dignity Act in New York State, which allows individuals to be placed in detention centers with other inmates who match their gender identity, not their biological sex.
We'll have a check of the rain in just a moment. For now, a live view outside from our Greater Rock Sky Eye. Your sunrise traffic report here at 6:55. One issue downtown near the PSB at Ford Street and the intersection with Exchange Boulevard. Another one at Hollenbeck and Keller Street here in the city. Main expressway is moving along, but wet roads there. James, you got the radar pulled up now.
Yeah, some of the heaviest stuff looks like over Wayne County area. So if you're coming out of that direction driving west, you might run into that rain, but otherwise nothing heavy for you. I don't see any ponding on roads to start off this Monday, the last day of March. And we're the warmest we are now. Lower 60s for you. We come out of the 60s into the 50s, and then eventually tomorrow morning will be 30s, probably wind chills in the 20s. So back to that winter feel nearly for your Tuesday, but sun in the afternoon will be real nice to see. And then we go right back up. Sure, Wednesday morning is cold, but highs around 50, then maybe 70 for you going in on Thursday. So April doing April things around Rochester with those big swings in temperatures.
And tomorrow at sunrise, we'll be out of the ballpark for opening day for the Red Wings. You see it there. We'll see you back here in 30 minutes.
Have a great day.
Follow News 8 wherever you are on RochesterFirst.com, Facebook, X, and on our app for news and weather.